Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. This is a special members-only video, and I just want to say thank you all so much on this Thankful Thursday for supporting the channel, for doing all that you've done to help grow this channel and be a huge support. So I just want to say thank you. One of the things that has come up from this Tyler Robinson preliminary hearing that we watched last week has been the amount of people who are coming in that are commenting on the false, phony, and fake conspiracy narratives that have just been shot down left, right, and center. We've looked at tons of them. I've done videos about it. It's been fantastic. Well, enter into the chat Uncivil Law. Fantastic, talented, legal mind, as well as content creator. Kirk over here, I don't even know what to say. This video is so good. Kirk did such a fantastic job of just making it all plain. He made it all plain. It's easy for everybody to understand, and it has just enough snark in it to, keep you going. So anyway, I wanted to just look at Kirk's video. The link is down in the description. Please go over to Uncivil Law. Make sure you subscribe to him. Give him some green hearts. Support him. He's doing an excellent job. And also let him know, hey, send Jason that cool clock that you have behind you. Jason could use that clock right here. That clock would be really cool right here. So tell him, like, hey, Jason sent us because he wants that clock, something like that. It'd be cool. Anyway, let's go check it out. Kirk, come on up here to the front of the church, man.
I think he was there.
I think he's a total patsy. I think they get lookalikes and they got everybody wearing the same outfit.
To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. And
you weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry.
I'm with you, Asmund.
Just like that, all the Candace Owens conspiracy theories in the world collapsed. Candace Owens sold a lookalike psyop. The courtroom produced a message attributed to Tyler Robinson saying, "I am the one who did it. I'm sorry." And that message wasn't the only evidence we have. That message landed inside an evidence stack containing video, vehicles, rifles, DNA, Dremel, texts, notes, and surrender. 9 months of internet smoke, all propagated by the evil Candace Owens for her own manipulative reasons, just met its death with an exhibit sticker. Let's get uncivil about it.
I love it. Exhibit sticker is crazy. Shout out to Kirk. Let's go.
Let's start with a description of Tyler Robinson's current legal status. Tyler Robinson has been charged with the death of Charlie Kirk.
Right.
He's presumed innocent as a matter of law and will remain that way until found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt by a jury. What happened last week was a preliminary hearing, not a trial. During a preliminary hearing, the court asked whether probable cause exists to send the charges forward. That hearing assumes that all evidence presented by the government is true and correct, and merely asks if a jury were to believe it, could they convict? However, no jury has convicted him yet, and so it might be helpful to keep that legal line bright. But due process for Robinson does not require fantasy immunity for Candace Owens. Her claims can be tested right now.
Is crazy.
And as to that, she doesn't get the standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and her claims are getting flattened.
Candace Owens looked at that and called it a show trial, telling her audience to expect nothing but, quote, Erica's tears and an orbit of her payrolled influencers trying to convince you that the unvetted evidence is overwhelming and undeniable.
Candace Owens called it a show trial, apparently not understanding or choosing not to understand what a preliminary hearing is. That's awfully convenient. So her show gets anonymous sources, ominous pauses, dream interpretation, and a villain wheel. As for the court, we got witnesses under oath, cross-examination, actual chain of custody for a change. That was awfully nice. Massachusetts State Police, I'm looking at you. Forensic reports, and a judge who can actually say, counsel, answer the question. One format rewarded suspense and nonsense. The other punishes that nonsense.
As the hearings in Utah began, she posted something else. Quote, "One more fight, Charlie," she wrote. "I don't fear these demons.
Wild.
We will win."
Candace Owens bringing Charlie Kirk into her cosplay is truly disgusting. Charlie Kirk built his public life by walking into hostile rooms and arguing his case in the daylight. He deserves better than having his murder converted into some sort of paranormal scavenger hunt aimed at his very widow for reasons that defy all standards of decency, his friends, and the organization he built. From where I sit, this whole Candace Owens affair has become a cruel, unhinged content wrapped in spiritual language and monetized as courage when it's really nothing more than pure BS. There are some people out there that have argued that Candace Owens was merely asking questions. Let me be clear about this. Candace Owens didn't ask questions. She made accusations.
For this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. There were people at Turning Point who are engaged in a cover-up.
No, you didn't.
I believe that thoroughly.
Truly disgusting. Those were allegations against real people,
Right.
real employees, and real friends of Charlie Kirk, people he worked with and built an organization together through sweat and even his own blood, and allegations against a grieving family. Then the cast expanded, because apparently one conspiracy cannot survive without international co-stars.
We know that this is deep state. We know that we are looking at an assassination akin to JFK, and we know the subject matter is Israel.
Candace Owens' theory now has more countries involved than NATO and less evidence than a parking citation. Well, I suppose I do need to correct one aspect of that. It has produced one consistent result. Whenever a claim dies, another suspect gets magically drafted into the conspiracy. Meanwhile, the state began at the roof, the very roof Candace World treated like Mount Everest with lasers.
The idea that Tyler Robinson had to have some crazy Spider-Man abilities to be able to get on that roof, and comes to find out the roof is fairly easily accessible.
I want to mention this too, because I think this is super interesting. The prosecution nor the defense made any references to the foolishness that it was difficult to get on the roof. They just said, how did you get on the roof? And they explained it pretty normally, if you will. And I think that's kind of cool because they did not go down the rabbit hole of even dignifying the conspiracy theory that he had to climb on the roof like Spider-Man or whatever like that. They didn't even dignify it. And I think that was super dope. But let's keep it going. Let's finish up.
Do you know how to gain access to the rooftop of the Losi building?
Yes, there's actually an outside stairway right here.
Is that open to the public?
It is.
So no particular special skills or parkour talent required. Merely what you needed to do was use an outside stairway. Public access with a low railing. The Spider-Man chapter has been canceled after one witness and a campus map. Investigators have also described a screwdriver on the roof, which had plenty of Tyler Robinson's DNA on it, a disturbed gravel area consistent with a sniper pad, shoe impressions, and scuff marks near the northeast corner, physical details that tracked the surveillance route and were confirmed by videotape. Prosecutors presented multiple visits by the same person before the shooting, in different clothes, but the same campus, the amphitheater, the rooftop, and connected those visits to a gray Dodge Challenger, all owned by Tyler Robinson. Ring doorbell footage later showed that same Challenger near the campus after midnight. Another camera caught it trying to turn into Campus Drive at around 12:30 in the morning. A police officer recorded the plates. DMV records led it all back to Tyler Robinson. This is a remarkably elaborate foreign intelligence operation, apparently conducted by Tyler Robinson's car and Tyler Robinson's license plate, if you were to believe Candace Owens.
Were you able to track Mr. Robinson when he leaves this parking structure?
Yeah.
Yes, we were able to.
Okay.
And again, in the top left corner, the individual is now seen running across the rooftop of the Losi building
Oh, look at this.
to what would be the southwest corner of the building, crouching down and then crawling to the corner of the building.
The footage presented in court placed a person on the roof at the relevant time, behaving consistently with the shooter, then fleeing across with an object in hand towards the wooded area across Campus Drive. Investigators later recovered a Mauser 98, a 30-06 rifle there, which was wrapped in a black towel, also with Tyler Robinson's DNA on the towel, in the area of the person entering within 1 minute after the shooting. Inside was one fired engraved Remington casing, also containing Tyler Robinson's DNA, and 3 unfired engraved casings, also featuring Tyler Robinson's DNA. And then, of course, there is Lance Twiggs, Mr. Twiggs, if you like, to Robinson's Mr. Berries, Robinson's roommate and romantic partner. He was shown the released surveillance images, and he had some thoughts about them.
It definitely, especially the bottom, the last two, definitely do look like him.
Now let's talk a little bit more about the forensics. As I've alluded to already, DNA evidence presented at this hearing gave very strong support for Robinson as the predominant major contributor for all DNA samples found across the rifle stock, the rifle grips, the butt plate, the trigger guard, the bolt, the forend, the barrel, the scope, and the underside of the receiver.
I do want to stop right here. Shout out to Kirk from Uncivil Law. The link is down in the description. I do want to encourage people, please do not outsource your critical thinking to Candace, to Kirk, to me, to anybody. Go back and watch the hearing. Go back and listen to the testimony of the DNA expert. Go ahead and listen to the testimony of Bagley, the gentleman that verified the video evidence and so forth. Use your own common sense before you get, because if you allow somebody to confuse you, for example, Candace has confused a lot of this story about the DNA evidence on the gun as well as the towel. Go back and listen for yourself. Don't trust anybody. Go back and listen for yourself. In the words of somebody else, use your common sense. Okay? But I think you will understand that what Kurt is saying here is right on the money, is right on the button, exactly what happened in court. Don't let somebody else tell you something different when you heard something completely contrary. Let's go.
The firing casings also carried his supporting DNA. The roof screwdriver, which was found at the scene where the shooting took place, contained a 2-Percocet mixture with strong support for Robinson as the predominant major contributor under the state's expert stated conclusions. But wait, there is more. Because the investigators searched Robinson's home. There they found Remington .30-06 ammunition, including spent cases, perforated paper targets that had shown previous practice attempts, and a Dremel capable of making the engravings. Robinson's DNA was found all over the Dremel. A separate casing that had been engraved test shot sat on a safe near his bedroom. Firearms testimony linked that casing to the recovered rifle. Toolmark testimony linked the engraving to the Dremel bit found in his home. So we've discussed the video, the vehicle, the rifle, the DNA, and the Dremel. But we haven't even yet talked about the confessatory messages.
Okay, and then Tyler says, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but gotta grab my rifle still.
According to Lance Twiggs, Tyler Robinson directed him to look under the keyboard, and there he found a note from Robinson announcing that he found the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk. He took a photograph of it, which was presented in court. Another photograph showed the note partially burned in the trash. Forensic examination of Lance's phone produced all the messages related to the threat, and Discord produced the corresponding chat thread in response to subpoenas to prove authenticity. Separate platforms and separate records, but the same ugly direction.
To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you.
You weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry.
IDEK, if I had
I don't even
if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with.
All the descriptions provided by Robinson matched where and how the police found the rifle. Lance Twiggs also told investigators that Robinson had been engraving bullets within the previous month. He also said that Robinson later cried, apologized, and expressed regret. Shortly before 8 p.m. the next day, Discord messages described an imminent surrender. And at around 9 p.m., Robinson voluntarily entered the Washington County Sheriff's Office. The text messages revealed his alleged motive. When asked by Twiggs why did he do it, Robinson said, I had enough of the hatred. That alleged motive tracks a direct grievance against Charlie. According to the prosecution's case, a conservative speaker was murdered at a public event by the sender of a message saying that he had enough of the hatred, which strongly suggests a political and or religious motive. Candace Owens redirected all the public anger towards Charlie's widow, friends, and allies, the very people living most directly with the Ross, in a most cruel and untoward manner. That reversal was one of the meanest and most unacceptable parts of Candace Owens' grift. The evidence presented in court does not reveal the identity of any Israeli handler, an Egyptian air crew, a French hit team, a TP USA boardroom, or Ben Shapiro lurking behind a ficus tree. What it did reveal was video, vehicle, rifle, DNA, and Dremel, text notes, and a surrender.
Yeah, I mean,
What have we learned this week that we didn't know before?
well, we learned all the evidence that they said didn't exist actually exists.
And when the stack became harder to dodge, Candace Owen decided to open a fresh tab. She has most recently accused Ben Shapiro of being involved on the conspiracy to kill Charlie Kirk. Candace Owen took the relatively unremarkable fact that Ben Shapiro's security team talked to Charlie Kirk's security team and decided to cue the confession graphic, cue the satanic insinuation, cue another person dragged into Charlie Kirk's death.
Candace Owens posted breaking news. Ben Shapiro just confessed on his show that while Charlie was being transported to the hospital and bleeding out to death, his security was on the phone with Charlie's security receiving updates. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Yes, apparently that was the big revelation. Ben Shapiro confessing to receiving security updates during an active shooter emergency. Being one of the most prominent conservatives himself, obviously very concerned about potential threats to him as well. So prominent conservative security teams who know one another, work with each other, communicate with each other, warn each other about clients when one public figure has just been shot and no one knows whether more attacks are coming. That doesn't sound that remarkable to me. Unsurprisingly, security personnel were trying to understand the scope of the unfolding danger during the fog of uncertainty.
And I'm going to stop right here. That makes perfect sense. I'm wondering, when events happen like this, like, for example, let's go back to the correspondence dinner. How many different people that were not at the correspondence dinner, the White House correspondence dinner, how many people were not there that were alerted through their security teams and it's such of that nature? That's not hard to understand. What's hard to understand is, why do people not want to understand it? That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. Am I to believe that security teams don't talk to one another? Like, is that what you want me to believe? It just seemed like a lapse so far. Okay, let's keep going.
At the news that Charlie had been shot, and my security was on the phone with Charlie's security because nobody knew what the hell was going on. Well, Charlie was still in the back of the car, and we were sort of getting updates along the way.
To try to turn that into some evidence of betrayal, as though Ben Shapiro was a co-conspirator in Charlie Kirk's death, you must invent a scene where people rendering aid stop saving Charlie so they could phone Ben. But there's no evidence available of that, and no witnesses said anything like that. There's no call record presented in any of the materials that established it. Candace has supplied a mental picture, then treated audience reaction as though it were some kind of proof. That's the insinuation operating like a vending machine. Insert fear, receive accusation. Well, here's the legal gotcha that summarizes everything that happened. Probable cause is a very modest threshold. The defense challenged the evidence, its admissibility, and the publicity surrounding it. Now, that part is good because the defense counsel is doing the job the Constitution requires, and good for them. Yet, after days of sworn testimony, cross-examination, exhibits, and forensic detail, there is no courtroom evidence presented to date that in any way ties Erica Kirk, TPUSA, Ben Shapiro, Israel, France, Egypt, or any broader network to...
What about the Ninja Turtles and the Mormon bee cult, Kurt? I'm going to have to call Kirk, because Kurt, you can't let the Mormon bee cult and the Ninja Turtles off the hook, sir. And the guy in the bush, remember the bush guy? Come on, Kurt. Come on. You know. Come on.
Charlie Kirk's murder.
Candace thrives, and people like her thrive on the internet, because on the internet, they get to set the rules of the discourse. The other thing that's absolutely crushing them all this week is that court is the one institution left in American public life where where they don't get to set the rules. The rules are ensconced in law, the procedures are ensconced in law, and you're held to a standard.
And this is one of the reasons why this week mattered. Online, Candace can jump from a bullet to a plane, from a plane to a photograph, from a photograph to a dream, and from a dream to we know. How ominous. Whereas in court, we make each claim stand on its own, and we stand still long enough to ask questions like, who saw it? Who collected it? Who tested it? And what does it actually prove? And look, I can be known to distrust government when government earns that distrust. Conservatives have spent years watching agencies abuse power, sometimes conceal facts, and demand blind obedience to the narrative. Skepticism can be healthy, but accusing a widow, friends, and employees and foreign nations of murder without any evidence is moral vandalism. Questions have question marks. Her episodes arrived with all the villains pre-installed. Charlie's family had to sit mere feet away from the man prosecutors accused of killing him, while the worst minutes of their lives were reconstructed painfully under oath. They then had to watch a former friend turn that grief into an episodic whodunit. Defending Charlie Kirk's memory requires more than praising his politics. It requires refusing to lie about his death, especially when the lie comes from people who claim to be on our own side. So where's the evidence tying Erica Kirk to this murder? Where's the evidence connecting TPUSA or foreign government to the roof, the rifle, the DNA, the messages, or the surrender? Why did every unanswered detail become permission to accuse another enemy of Candace Owens? Those are the questions that remain unanswered. Now, the record, of course, can change going forward. New evidence might yet be revealed in court, and new evidence should be followed wherever it might lead. But today, as we sit here, the formal record points overwhelmingly towards Tyler Robinson being a sole actor, and the broader conspiracy remains content produced without any courtroom or official evidentiary support. That brings relief because facts are finally replacing fantasy. It also brings anger because people never get back the months spent under the cloud, kept alive by clicks, despite having no evidentiary support. The evidence is overwhelming. Video, vehicles, rifle, DNA, Dremels, and texts, a note, and the surrender. Candace instead gave us demons, dreams, countries, insinuations, and one endless trailer for a next episode. The court gave us the evidence. Conservatives should know which one deserves our loyalty. The judge will hear final probable cause arguments on September 1st, and we will make sure to cover that when it happens, and why probable cause is only the beginning. But tell me where you think I'm wrong in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and do all that great YouTube-y stuff. Until next time, I've been Uncivil Law, and remember to keep it uncivil out there. Cheers, and goodbye.
Shout out to Kirk from Uncivil Law. Link is down in the description. I thought he did a great job. I just thought that was an excellent discussion, breakdown, dissection of what we saw last week and how it's playing out now in real time. And I just thought he did an excellent job, and I really think y'all should go check him out, support his channel, all that kind of good jazz, all the good YouTube stuff, give him some green hearts, all that. And I just want to say again, thank you so much. As members, I'm just letting you know that I will be going live with the Beard Lawyer at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so in about 2 hours, give or take. And we're going to have a great conversation talking about this and some other cases as well. I want to hear his thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts as well. So he'll be taking questions, answering questions, all that kind of good stuff. So I'll see you all at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much. It's been a great, thankful Thursday, and I'm going to keep it going with you all, Lord willing, in a few hours. So see you real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.